Stillness and blessings, love and light, health and wholeness. It's not coincidence. As I started to record, it was 3:33. Um, as y'all can see, it's been raining. I won't be long. I'm gonna make an attempt to be brief as possible. There's a lot going on energetically. For those who are familiar, we had a solar eclipse yesterday. We being upgraded. I'm gonna speak to certain things or symptoms that we may have been experiencing along the line as we go through the messages. But I'm gonna make my attempt to be brief as possible. Um, I encourage everybody to stay hydrated and get much rest as possible for the next few days, um, as you can, as possible. Um, Stillness and blessed love and light, health and wholeness. I hope everybody's feeling good for no reason at all, in the truest, highest frequency possible of your authentic self. Um, when I came up with that term, feel good for no reason at all, probably about 2 years ago now, since I've been saying it, I didn't know I was training myself to be in a certain vibratory resonance of frequency, um, that would assist me on this journey, that would assist us on this journey, because I don't just use it for myself. I'm always sharing. And if you hear something enough, you know, it'll reveal itself to you. As we've heard, learning comes from repetition. But I had no idea how far I'd come. I had no idea how far it would bring me through life, just in the past couple years. To say this, family: unconditional living, unconditional love, and unconditional life comes from within. Nothing outside of you can give it to you, because it's based on nothing that has to do with anything external of you. And the reason why this is so important is because it's easy to feel good when you're not resisting anything. And what I mean by that is, the only thing that causes contrast or resistance is when you think your world has to do with anything external of you. Some will catch you. There is nothing outside of you. And I said that to say this: for those who are, I'm talking to the star seeds and the light workers. I'm talking to those of us who are along the way. But I'm talking to us who know that we're not here to fix nobody other than ourselves, because we're not. And for those who are on this journey and beginning this work of self-healing, just know that you're not broken, and your healing will be accelerated. And for those of us who have done the work and continue to do the work, we have to remember, we're not broken, so it ain't nobody to fix. How you feel is your choice. How you feel is your choice. There's power in that for those who grasp what I'm emanating. How you feel is your choice. And the reason that each and every one of us who hear this, because I'm listening to myself as I speak, the reason why this is so important, because that may be the only thing that we have total control over, is to choose how we want to feel. Somebody will catch it. I am the giver of every good thing. And if you can be the giver of every good thing, that means you're in a place to receive good. I didn't get it when my higher self spoke that to me, but as I sat on it and I marinated in it, it started to make sense. So I ask you, how is life making or molding you? Because that's what I was being challenged to look at when my conscience kept vibrating. I am the giver of every good thing. To be able to be a giver of good things, you gotta have good in you. Otherwise, it's a hook attack. If people was honest in what they would say about you, what would they have to say? These are the questions that if you haven't asked yourself that, to know the answer, then we need to start asking ourselves that. And it'll cause change. The journey of knowledge itself, the knowledge of life. What I call knowledge itself is the knowledge of life, because through our experience of life, we get to know ourselves. But this journey through the knowledge itself in life, it's like reading a book. It's like reading the pages of a book. And you never know what's going to happen next till you experience yourself in the chapter. I said that to say I was reflecting. Keyword, reflecting on the past. I was using the past as a propeller to move forward, but I was reflecting on the past, and I said to myself, the past is a funny thing. The past is such a funny thing. The way if you don't realize the past as a funny thing, it still probably got a hold on to you. Somebody will catch it. But the past is the funny thing, and we do like to hold on to it. So tight. But sometimes it's better to just let it go. Sometimes it's better to just move on. Because memories come with wherever we drift our mind to. That's why I say so much. You know, it ain't no problems in the present. Because when you in the past, it's 9 times out of 10, something unwanted to your emotional place. And if you're too far in the present, it'll tamper with your emotional energy because it's too far ahead. There's no problems in the present. Be still. You gotta learn how to be still within. Somebody will catch you. My point is, you gotta learn to stay too far from the past or too far in the present, because sometimes we can get so tangled up in it, not realizing that it don't want to let go of us, and it'll rip you apart. And in those moments, that's when you have to turn around and face it. But really, you have to go within and face you. Life is a difficult teacher, but it shows us who we are and who we were all along. I also found myself asking myself, just based on the questions that I asked myself to share with y'all, why do life birth us to ask questions about life? It's a difficult teaching. Why are all these challenges coming to you now? Because it's a lot of challenges coming to us, whether we want to admit it or not. It's so many people faking it like they don't made it instead of just being what it is. It ain't funny, but we all going through some type of challenges, especially those of us on this spiritual path. And it's a good thing if you are. Trust me. Trust your process. Furthermore, but why are we all going through these challenges now? I ask myself that. Whenever life attempting to reveal something to me that I'm gonna need to know in the moment or in moving forward, I ask myself that too, family. To the point that I want to say, if you are doing something spiritually, emotionally, physically, health-wise, wherever it may be, you're not the only one going through something in this moment. as we break the bonds of time. And whatever it is, it's making us better if you trust your process. It's a lot being cleared up from within us and external of us, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, I'm speaking to symptoms that you may be experiencing and trying to give clarity of why. Some of us feeling tired a lot. Some of us feeling irritable. I found myself being irritable. I found myself things rising up in me trying to get me mad for no reason at all. Different type of things trying to trigger me. It's all from within, nothing coming from external. But I've also been mindful enough to know to sit still and look at what's going on, settle myself, and clear it up before I proceed. Emotional roller coasters. It's a lot going on, family. But all kind of feelings have been popping up for me to deal with myself. But if you're experiencing this, I'm only saying what I've said to say it's normal. It's normal. It is normal. And the reason this is happening because we have to learn how to be better navigators, better pilots of our emotional waters. We got to learn how to better navigate through our emotional waters, master our feelings. We also have to learn how to be independent of codependency. We all have to go through the storms as they come, family. But unfortunately, nobody's on this journey by themselves. Work on yourself every day. Those who haven't woke up yet and are still asleep, trust their process. They will awaken in their own time. We have people still sleeping in our family. That's our friends, co-workers, so whatever. There is no judgment. Everyone will awaken in their own time. You did, and so did I. Be prepared that everything that is not of love frequency can't remain on the planet. We already in fifth dimensional frequency. For those who don't know, but the dark souls will be being removed from the planets. This is what is happening. They're no longer welcome here. I hope we all can ashe on that. But in the fifth dimensional frequency, man, it's an important need to be vibrating and calibrating yourself in the frequency of peace, love, and harmony as much as possible at all times. I will say we are powerful, sovereign beings. We ain't trying to go to Phoenix, family. We are the Phoenix. Inspire, compliment, encourage, feel good for no reason at all. I love y'all. Salud God.